Unicorn Circuit.
Welcome to the Unicorn Circuit, your weekly, bi-weekly, tri-weekly, quad-weekly. Do you know bi-weekly could mean twice a week or it could mean every 2 weeks?
I've always wondered about that.
It can be both.
Biannually, is that
for
2
all
years
intensive
or twice
purposes,
a year?
Martin.
I hate eggcorns like that, man.
I know. Anyway, welcome
this
to
is
the
episode
Unicorn
73.
Circuit. Episode 73
We're not
of
going to
your
talk over each other.
bi-weekly show, all about cars,
Mostly.
Fanking. I got busted fanking.
What?
It's the first time in a long time. I got a little story for you when we get to fanking. I haven't got busted fanking for a long time.
I've had the odd look. But anyway, I'll talk about it.
No, I was accosted by a shop assistant. Yeah. It was an incredible fank as well that I did manage to get. We've also got some car news this week.
Lots of car news.
We're not talking about electric cars this week,
Yes,
are we?
we are. Of course we are.
Are we?
Yeah.
I'm not. You can.
Good.
That's your news.
I will.
Let's just dive right into it. We've also got a pretty cool mytown and a crap car, some amazing laws that are just wacky, some cool conspiracy theories, and some eat bags.
Some random eat bags as well.
Martin,
And some mailbags. Did we say mailbags?
Let's just squeeze the tip, pull it down, dive into the news.
This week on the news, which is a very important piece of thing to do, isn't it?
Well, Martin, apparently it is, because you said today that there is not many car news shows on the internet with relevant and entertaining news.
There's lots of news about specific things, but nothing that sort of gives you a bit of an update.
No.
So it's like, I wonder if I can just I wonder what's out there. Are we the only people that's talking about car news on the semi-regular, on the bi-weekly regularness?
And the only Mighty Car Mods news they're really going to get that's legit is from us.
Well, yeah.
Such as this little tidbit of information. Right now, look at this. Looks like we're in Sydney. Meow. We're in Germany. Austria?
Could be either.
Could be either.
We don't know.
We're coming at you from Germany or Austria right now.
Yeah, get keen.
Which is cool. Martin, let's dive right into the news.
Oh, the
Let's
news.
just get into it.
All right, we should start with some German news, and I'm going to start with some news from people we don't talk about very much, BMW.
Okay.
I'm talking about BMW.
What did they do, mate?
Why? Because, before I get into that, there is not very much news out there about cars that is not related to hybrids, batteries, EVs, sustainability, all this stuff, man. It's just everywhere. If you go to the source, I'm not talking about performance magazines or people that deal specifically with cars that are not performance-based. I just mean if you go to Nissan or Honda and go, what's happening? Give us your press releases. It's all about anyway, we're going to get into it.
Is it possible, conspiracy theory, there's a number of massive advertising agencies in the world.
Yes.
They've got different PR agencies, digital agencies, public relations people. Is it possible that a number of these people share clients? And so what happens is they are waiting for directive from their people going, what should we do? And everyone's like, it's all about eco, we're doing eco. And they're telling that to all their clients. So they're kind of generating interest, but it's actually just one big lizard family doing it.
Very, very possible. You know what I think it is? I think car companies are shitting themselves due to regulation.
Yeah, and emissions, man.
They have to show that they're doing something. So half the press releases that I was reading through today were about how much water is the Seat factory using and how much solar power is the Honda factory in USA using versus emissions to make cars that still burn petrol. And then everything else is about what else are they burning? How else are they powering that isn't petrol? The focus is always like, well, it's got a petrol engine, but check out all this other stuff it does. And a good example of that.
Sorry, I'll segue for a second. This is not just cars, man. This is legit happening with tractors. It's happening with motorbikes. It's happening with boats. I was looking at some motorbike stuff recently because we've been talking about that for a little while. Some tantalisingly titillating two-wheeled action. There's this particular kind of things that I've been looking at. The newer versions of them, they've changed a whole bunch of stuff for the express reason of matching new European standards of exhaust from motorcycles.
So there's a new lot of standards coming out. This is affecting a lot of the European manufacturers, one of which is BMW. So they're calling themselves now pioneers for not mobility, but electro-mobility. That's the new thing, the new buzzword.
It sounds like a dance music style.
It does a bit actually, but with a mobility thing. 5 new fully electric cars within 2 years.
Whoa!
So within 2021, bang,
the future's
5
smashing you in the
cars.
eyeballs, people.
They already apparently...
Don't turn around, it's going to hit you in the butthole.
BMW reckon they make the most hybrid/electric cars out of anyone, even though Tesla and everybody else gets the big news. It's actually BMW that have been doing it for a long time with their electric i3 and other things like that. But they've also, interestingly, bucking the sales trend. Now, a lot of these other manufacturers around the world are seeing a decline, a small decline because of economic factors is what they say. So they're saying 5-6% drop year on year. BMW is beating that and growing.
Wow.
So, is it a coincidence that they're also doing all this electric stuff and growing, or is it just because people think M4s are cool?
Martin, I'm going to talk about cars that use petrol for a little while. I'm talking about the Toyota Supra.
Yep.
Because, of course, everybody's very excited about it coming. Everybody has been titillatingly, anticipatingly waiting for how much the car's going to cost. Pricing's been announced for Australia.
Oh,
which is pretty exciting. So I got a couple of options for you. So the Supra GT, $85,000 plus on-road costs. I'm going to have a chat with you about on-road costs in a second.
That's
the
a lot,
GTS, which is kind of seems to be the one to get if you're in this kind of zone, $95,000 plus on-road costs. That one, of course, you get heads-up display, 19-inch wheels, better brakes, better audio, that kind of stuff. And then you can also get that with Alcantara interior and a matte grey paint job. That's an extra couple of $1,000s. By the time that's on the road. No, that's before you. That's before you get to drive it.
ORCs.
So we're looking at a six-figure Toyota Supra. On-road costs involve insurances, registrations. I don't know if stamp duty comes part of that, but basically you'd probably want to put aside around $105,000, 100 to 110.
That's a lot, man.
For a Toyota Supra.
I mean,
but depending on depreciation. You could be picking one of these up in a couple of years for less, but it also, because look at the 86s now, how much cheaper they are.
True.
But this also could be one of those cult cars that just hangs in there. But for our viewers and viewers of Mighty Come On's, that other show, do you reckon they'd buy one of them for 120 grand, or if they could get a 34 like V-Spec 2 for 120 grand, which we know they cost 200 grand now, what would they get? And I reckon, I don't know.
Well, even
you tell us.
Even the original Supras are going up in value. Now, also, 95 grand sounds like a lot. When the original Supra came out, so what are we talking here, early, mid-90s?
Well, a long time ago, I think the one that we know of as the Supra is the most recognisable Fast and Furious one.
I mean, someone who's earning 100 grand now doing the exact same job in 1993, what would they have been on? And maybe if they earn 100 grand a year then, back then it was 55, and maybe the Supra was 55. Oh my God, it's the same. The money obviously changes as well. But you can't get away from the fact that 6 figures for a Toyota two-door that you can't put much in the boot of is pretty crazy. But that said, people spend more than that on Land Cruisers, and that look like they're from the 70s.
And imagine, what's the average income for a professional in Australia now? 80 grand, 120 grand,
it's
something like that.
Figures,
So we're talking about possibly, imagine if you didn't have to pay tax or had no responsibilities, and you worked in the city doing whatever, you earn 100 grand, you could buy a car. Somebody else might be on $35,000 and buy themselves a $50,000 Commodore. They spend more than their expendable income, because I don't think there's many people spending 100 grand on a car outright. That's a bit baller. Aren't they getting loans, or they're doing business things? I don't know, but that's the prices.
That's high.
And I thought you should know.
Speaking of cars that also burn petrol, I do have one that doesn't involve electric motors. A new Audi RS3. There's been testing, and those, when you see the cars cavered in that stuff,
that camouflage. It looks like those books that if you squint, you see a 3D image.
Yeah, so you drive as a deer. So they've been spotted doing testing an RS3. Now they've seen flares on them.
A new shape.
Yep. Flares on them. They reckon it's going to have the same motor. That's the rumour. So still a 5-banger, still making bulk power. 300 kilowatts off the factory floor.
Wow.
So if it makes even 10% more than that, that's starting to get pretty up there.
We'll still get chopped, though, by a Barra and a Golf. That's true. I'm not even shit stirring.
But we spoke about earlier, it's going to have to meet even stricter emission standards. So they're going to make 300 kilowatts, but they don't get to do it with a free-flowing exhaust. Yep. They're probably going to add more cats and more stuff to try and clean up what's coming out of the exhaust, and that is going to be why you are going to see performance cars going more and more towards this hybridization, just to get the power back.
And I think you're going to see more and more performance cars going even faster, because when they get it to run in a limited system, really impressively powered, by the time you open it up, intake, exhaust, tune, whatever it is that gets done, is it's going to be even more crazy. It's going to get crazy. And we've seen, obviously, with the Golf that we did, just how much is there, how much there is to play with, going from 180 kilowatts to 280 kilowatts in a daily driven car. There is room to move people once you unwrap that banana.
And the quality of the components that's already in that car, just because we've gotten better at making metal stuff, making turbos and making exhaust housings and all that kind of stuff. Interestingly, though, alongside the info about this particular Audi, the next biggest announcement that Audi had was the fact that they are connecting intelligent beehives equipped with sensors to the cloud in order to carry out long-term analysis of bee colonies and environmental data, and to investigate the effects of certain influences on bees using data science methods.
I like it.
I like it.
I like it as long as those bees aren't getting harmed.
No, I like it, but isn't it interesting that this is from Audi, a car manufacturer, and they're going, no, everyone, let's talk about bees.
Fine, do you know why? Good. Conspiracy theory. Do you know why they're doing it? Take a guess. The people are guessing right now. Because Swarm Technology, man, this is how they're going to run their cars. Don't laugh, man. This is true.
Bees.
No, they're going to look at the way the bees interact with each other and how they get things done. They're going to try and apply that technology to their cars so that when we're all running by the, the internet.
Did you read the Honda press release?
No.
That's actually a thing.
Really?
Yeah. They're talking about swarming data for all their self-driving cars and stuff. So they goes, I'm like connected to my neighbour next door.
Sorry, that's Cheryl. You know what? I just want to jump into some very quick news because the news has been going for a while, but these are some big ones. The Ford plants in Geelong and Broadmeadows, a lot of memories for a lot of people, a lot of importance. They've been sold, Martin. Been sold to a property developer. They're going to be subdivided and they've committed a bunch of cash to the first stage of their project, which is to reinvent it as business hubs for people to go and work in. It's going to create a lot of jobs. I think a lot of people are going to have very mixed feelings about it, but the reality is that there's a whole lot of space and people are like, I don't want cranes, I don't want development, I don't want this, but at the same time the population is increasing and people need somewhere to live. And you would hope that you've got a government that can kind of do its job. You'd hope.
Mercedes Australia.
Yes,
Speaking of press releases that have nothing to do with cars.
Yes.
Their big press release was about fashion because Mercedes see parallels in every day between the world of high fashion and the automotive industry, which is on the cusp of reinventing itself like never before, says Managing Director Horst van Sanden. Fashion remains a touchstone for Mercedes-Benz. And then other news is they tested a bunch of fake wheels versus real wheels and said that at 50 k's an hour and they hit a pothole, the fake wheels crack and metal flies off and kills people. Was the tests that they did.
That was weird.
Now, it makes sense why Mercedes don't want you to buy other wheels because they make wheels. Like they want you to go to the dealer when you buy the car.
This is the old story, man. The old wheels versus wheels.
Yeah. They want you to buy, 10 grand worth of their wheels. Now, the people that are making fake wheels are my least kind of favourite because they're making ones that do look pretty much identical. Like they have the same cast unit that says made in Germany when it's clearly not. So I think people are getting tricked and I don't like that. If you put other wheels from other brands on there that are all approved by whatever your TUVs and all that kind of stuff, sorry Mercedes, too bad. But it's interesting that at 50 k's an hour, that's all it takes. And there's like big chunks of metal just hanging off the side.
Wow.
And then the very next news is about fashion.
Okay. Well, Martin, have you got any more news? I've got one more.
So much more good news.
We're going to have to move on. So can we do a speed round?
We can do a speed round.
TCR. Everyone's pretty excited about this.
Yep.
This is a new race series that's happening in Australia. Compact 2 litre, 4-cylinder cars. They are putting the same tyres on them. They're limiting the modifications so people don't go too crazy with them. We're expecting to see cars like Honda Civic Type R, Golf GTI, Holden Astra, Hyundai R30N, Megane RS, and Martin, this is one I wanted to ask you about. Plus there's male and female drivers as well, which is both, which is awesome. But the Subaru WRX, what?
Subaru WRX in that. Well, that sounds like a good collection of cars to race against each other, doesn't it?
But they've got to be front-wheel drive, 2 litre, 4-cylinder.
Huh?
So are they disabling the rear wheels? Do you know about this? Have I got something wrong? Can someone explain it?
Nah.
Martin, tell me if these cars are front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Honda Civic.
Yes.
Which one?
Front.
Golf GTI.
Front.
Holden Astra.
Probably front.
Hyundai i30N.
Front at the moment, but potentially not full.
Megane RS.
Front as far as I know.
Subaru WRX. Something's not adding up. What?
Martin,
that's the news, unless you want to do a speed round.
I want to do a speed round.
Cool, speed round. 10 seconds. Go.
I hate it when you do the seconds
I'm giving you 20 seconds. Seriously, we've got to move on. 20 seconds.
All right. So Honda is getting hard into the EV thing like everyone else, but they're going, what do we do with these batteries when the vehicles expire? So they're looking at second life in these batteries. What do we do at the end of it? They're also looking at ways of plugging them into your house. So when you don't use your car, you can use the energy from the car, and at night time you can charge the battery on off-peak or on solar or whatever else. And what else? I had a good one about VW. You love VWs.
Bloop, bloop, bloop. It just got refilled, mate.
Oh, good, because
I refilled mine. But now we got 20, then we're moving on.
All right. VW is doing this thing called a drive matrix, which is a 48-volt system, gets rid of your alternator and gets rid of your normal sort of charge system, does all the high energy things like starting and stopping the engine. They're also talking about absorbing energy, like when you're braking or slowing down or on decel, and then using that energy to do cool stuff like spooling turbos, which is an interesting thing. That's the world of the electric turbos, or potentially sending some energy to the back wheels to also drive the car for zero emissions driving around town.
Time out. That's the news. That was huge. Next up. Let's move it on to, is that even legal? This week on Is That Even Legal? Martin.
Yes.
Do you enjoy going for a stroll?
Yep, I did it today.
Do you enjoy going for a stroll without caring about anything? Just free, caring, lovely walk.
Yeah.
Illegal.
Where?
In South Australia, people.
No, not again.
It's true, yes. It's welcome to Australia, people. It is an offence to walk without due care or attention. There you go. And I'm not even hating. I think it's a great idea because I've got a second bonus one for you, which is what
a second boner.
A second bonus one for you.
Sorry.
You only need one. Martin, New York banning the
Electric
iPhone.
skateboard.
Banning the iPhone while you're crossing the road. This is true. This
Yeah,
is
okay.
true. And the fines aren't huge. They're like $100, just enough to go stop being a dickhead.
Yep.
If you're crossing the road and going, hey Cheryl, see you later, boner, like that, then you can get a fine. That's what they're trying to do. The only way that you can get out of it is if it's for an emergency. How they police it, I'm not sure. How that's going to roll out, I'm not sure, but it's actually a thing. So in South Australia, it is an offence to walk without due care or attention. And in New York, they're going to ban using your phone while you cross the road.
That's incredible. Next up,
Are people learning things?
Yeah, well, I reckon so. There's 6 people probably by now that are still watching.
Thank you to those 6 legends.
Next up, we have
need
a very
to send
special...
our 6 viewers a free thing.
We said we weren't going to talk over each other at all this one.
I know, but this is for the
I know,
fans.
but I'm trying not to.
We actually
It's
never
really
said
hard.
we were going to... Don't do it.
No,
we
but
actually,
I said that we wouldn't do it. I'm trying not to. I can't help it. It just happens. It's the timing, dude. Like, I wait for you and then you start talking. Look at the space. Ready? Start talking.
Okay.
But then you don't start talking. Next up.
It's for the
Are you going to
fans.
do it?
You do it.
What? But if I start talking...
Shut up! What, are we doing mycrapcar? Do we have a crap
we're
car or
doing
not?
both mycrapcar and mytown in one. Check this out.
You do it.
I'm trying to do it, but you keep...
No, I won't.
This
talk
is
you
wasting
to it.
internet.
Welcome to mycrapcar and mytown in one. Where are we going, Martin?
We're going to Charleston in South Carolina. Now, there might be some gentlemen and a car that you recognise because this is where Mechanical Stig took the Crestart to go and compete in Drag Week late last year, which is pretty exciting. And this is Nobody from Nobody's Travels. I don't know what that means, but that's the name of this gentleman. Thank you for sending in your awesome video. Check it out.
Yeah, Unicorn Circuit. It's Nobody here from Nobody's Travels. This is my town, Charleston, South Carolina, where the Mechanical Stig and Turbo Yoda and Benny were not too long ago. This is my turd sandwich of a 2001 Dodge Ram that I paid $1,000 US for. It's got 160,000 miles on it. It does a 1-tire fire in the rain. I'm going to be showing you guys around Charleston, South Carolina and this thing today. One thing that we have lots of in Charleston is beautiful live oak trees that are an absolute mess in the spring when they lose all their leaves. But they're pretty for the rest of the year because we're in America. An enormous Mountain Dew truck. We also have lots of traffic. It's 10:15 a.m. in the morning and I'm still sitting a quarter mile behind the stoplight. And some more really sketchy traffic with huge dump trucks. A minor league baseball team here called the Charleston River Dogs that is partially owned by the actor Bill Murray. They also share this field with a military college, the Citadel Bulldogs. So at the moment it looks like they're redoing the entire inside of the park. But the minor league baseball team that plays here is a minor league baseball team that's the lower ranks of the New York Yankees. Ugh, yuck. And who would I be to show you Charleston without showing you the Waffle House where the late Anthony Bourdain ate while he was here. You want to watch the piece of road this is on though, because it's a speed trap. If you watch the Bourdain episode where he sat there, you'll see the flashing lights in the background. Speed trap, but yeah, Waffle House. There's a little park over there, Waterfront Parks, that has a public boat landing here. Tide's going out, so it's whipping through. This is a man-made cut, so the water moves unnaturally fast here. But it's very pretty. I got one more spot to show you. I'm not going to do all the touristy things because if you want to see all the touristy historic stuff about Charleston, I'm sure there's something on Netflix or National Geographic where you can look that up. trying to show you all the little hidden gems that you may not see. And when they tell you that the food scene in Charleston is awesome, they lie to you, because the food sucks in this town. One more little waterfront park here in Charleston, but look at that. Mind you, this is a no wake zone, and the police are making wake. It's another little waterfront park where you can sit, where they've got benches that are dedicated to people who lived in this neighborhood for a lot of years, where you can sit and watch. Generally, if it wasn't cloudy, you'd see a beautiful sunset over there, but we've got rain and weather coming in this weekend. But these guys were pillars of this community for a lot of years, and they got a little waterfront park with some benches dedicated to them. I got one more little nuggety thing to show you. This is a 212cc 48-inch wheelbase, 8.5 horsepower go-kart that I built for my daughter for Christmas last year. Goes way faster than it should. I've actually rolled the thing over on pavement. Give me a second. Unicorn circuit. Hopefully you guys like mytown. Now it's time to do some mad skids. That was mytown. Thanks for watching.
So there it is. We would love to see either your crap car or your town. It can be a crap town, it can be an awesome town.
Might be good.
You can send it to mycrapcar at the Unicorn Circuit. Send it in, we'd love to show it. Use your phone that way, not that way. Make sure there's like decent audio and stuff. Don't put music on it. Or show us your town at mytown at the Unicorn Circuit. The doodle is dribbling underneath down here, so you can see what is going on. We need to send things. Martin, next up, I'm taking the reins of this horse.
Oh, yeah?
I'm giving it a gentle little love tap.
Is it that
and
time?
I'm neaing off into the distance with some mighty conspiratorial business. Are you ready?
Oh, it's Conspiracy Hat Cat.
Yeah, but can I do it?
Yes.
Can I do it this week?
Just this once.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Martin, you do the intro for the Conspiracy Hat Cat, because I normally do it.
Conspiracy Hat Cat is the delightful art of us telling you the most important and up-to-date and well-researched conspiracies in the world.
Yes.
And this gentleman here is going to smash you with one right now, right in your face hole.
That's right. Martin.
Yes.
Everybody's heard of CrossFit F45.
Yeah. Functional fitness.
Functional fitness. There's a bunch of other ones. I don't know their names or what they do.
Yep.
A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people not into it. They get a lot of CrossFit talk, CrossFit
You can put
whatever.
your results on the internet, can't you? Do you think it appeals to people who can go, oh look, I'm 485th in the world at like jumping on a box or something?
Maybe that's the thing.
That's cool.
It does get a lot of heat, Martin. And it makes you wonder that when there's a couple of things interacting, there's something that journalists do. They go, follow the money. You know, if someone seems to be a bit dodgy, like who is paying this government person to do this? What's the motivation? Now, if we said to you, we've got a Mighty Car Mods t-shirt,
yes,
and we would love for you guys to support the show. Now, what would happen is that you guys would press some buttons on the internet and some money would get transferred to us, and in return we would give them a t-shirt.
Yes.
Now, a lot of those costs are in actually making the t-shirt,
yes,
but there would be some of that left that we could use to buy a battery or pay for electricity or pay stuff to keep the show going.
Yes,
right?
That is the way that it works.
Yes, so everybody has a vested interest. So when you're looking at conspiracies, what you can start doing is going, who benefits by making what particular claim?
Wearing what kind of vest?
If a CrossFit person or a F45 person or the local army, they do like a boot camp thing.
Yep.
If they're going, this is the greatest thing ever, what do they want? They want to get some income. You know, hopefully they want to make you fit and healthy and stuff as well.
Yep.
But then when people are getting on there and like going, no, this is terrible, what are those people gaining by saying that it's terrible?
Truth.
Potentially,
this is
but
a thing.
It's not terrible for everyone.
I'm not going to hijack your thing, but in 10 seconds...
You just hijacked my thing.
No, you go.
No, go.
No, we'll talk about it after.
No, I
don't want to spoil it.
No, spoil it.
It just doesn't spoil it. I don't know
quick,
what the
just
thing
talk.
is.
No, because the conspiracy is great.
Because for a long time, the internet was all about busting those truths. It was like reviews, and then now review sites. Oh, this is a good one for next time. Let's talk about review sites next time. But now, I ran out of time.
Yeah, great. So the thing is that for people that are like not doing all competitive, because people are going, well, you do that, you train too much and you get hurt.
Yep.
But for the majority of people that aren't competing, I think they're just probably eating better. They're in a community. They're exercising. That's all a great thing. Who does not benefit, Martin?
The
Who used to benefit that now does not benefit?
The big gyms where you just go pump iron all day and all night.
And personal trainers. They're done and dusted, mate.
No.
Gonskis.
But there's schools full of them.
Yep, I know.
Personal training schools.
Yes,
It's one of those
and
degrees
guess what?
you get.
The schools are teaching people who don't actually have a job to go to, because if you go to, depending on your CrossFit or your F45 or your outside gym thing, you've got 10 people there, 1 or 2 coaches. You're basically getting one-on-one attention.
Yeah.
You're spending 30 or 40 bucks a week or whatever it costs in, you know, I have no idea, and you're getting this attention. The personal trainers used to charge $80, $90, $100 for an hour, and they're kind of doing the same kind of thing. The conspiracy is that all the hating on this new kind of wave of fitness that's taking over is the old school fitness that is now not making as much money.
Ooh, and you know what this mirrors exactly? If you rewind the clock 15 to 20 years, recording studios and recording studio schools, exact same thing happened.
Yes,
all
and
the big
you're
studios
involved
were like,
in one of them, right?
Don't buy that gear yourself, don't do it. And don't go get on a forum with your mates and try and work out stuff, because no, we got this.
Yes.
But come and pay us $1,000 a day to record. Don't do it for $2 a day. Do it for $1,000 a day, because it's better. And you know what? In some cases, it probably is.
Yeah,
but not all the time.
But not anymore. And Martin, did you or were you? Let me know if this is not correct. Offered a job possibly at one of the country's finest studios, or were going to be working there, but the requirement, I've certainly heard this from a couple of people, was that you have to do the particular course run by these people before they let you work in the best, which is also owned by them. And your skills, it doesn't matter, because you've got to go through the system. Did that happen to you, or did I make that up? Something like that?
The top couple of people in the class of audio engineering school, whatever it is, were generally said, if you want, you can come and work a job, work for whatever this massive studio is, right?
Yeah.
But the proviso was you had to do it for a year, and you had to do it for free, and you had to do the night shift, and then when you weren't working, you had to go and teach other kids at the school for free also.
Yeah, okay.
So there's no money.
Yeah,
so it
there's
was
a lot of stuff tied up.
Whole year of life, and I was like, oh, but rent and food and importantly petrol and mods.
Sometimes it is good to volunteer, work for free, get the experience, but a lot of people will say this is all about you. Often learning curves when you're doing exercise, education, relationships, whatever, you get this kind of, you hit the first 80% in the 20% of your time, you get most of the stuff there. The last 20%, anyway, you probably know the thing. The point is that working in a year doing night shift at a studio seems to be the old fantasy of like, you can get a job, you slowly work your way up.
Selling the
and
dream.
our old boss used to do it, and he's a legend. He recorded John Farnham and other stuff, you know, and that's the way that it worked. That's not really the way that it seems to work
It doesn't work when you've got 100 graduates all going for the same thing, and it's probably the same with personal training schools as well.
Yeah, I would say that's true. Because I had to, and then I'm only digressing for a moment, I promise. But I did a lecture recently for a bunch of Bachelor of Music students. A little while ago, I was kind of on the board for people that were graduating their bachelor degrees as an external professional musician who has a degree in whatever. And I said to all these people, you know, how are you going to go get a job? Because there's 100 people in this room, you've all got the same degree. And there's 10 other unis and everyone else just did their degree as well. So what are you going to do? And they're like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, read a book and go travel. Because when you go and get a job, someone's going to go, what have you got? Everyone's got the same degree. What they're going to care about is your story and what you've done outside of that stuff. Because everyone's capable, or everyone can be capable. Anyway, there it is, Martin.
Did we digress? That was a good conspiracy. That was like a wholemeal bread conspiracy, not this fluffy meringue.
Yeah. Conspiracy theory is that new forms of exercise are despised by the old school of exercise and personal trainers who are now not making any money, because what personal trainers can't give you is the community that gyms and training groups can give you. Martin, there it is. It's time for Fank of the Week. Fanking is the... You go.
No, you do it. Fanking is the delightful art
of recontextualizing a product
by holding it near your crotch.
Emotionally.
You don't have to do it emotionally if you want. Just roll with it.
I got in trouble fanking this week.
Yeah,
I was in a health food shop. I went down and I was having a look at their healthy breakfast options. I've been eating cereal, Martin, for a long time for breakfast. You and I have been talking about this. It's a pretty crummy breakfast, it turns out.
Depends what's in it.
It's still pretty crummy.
No, I was reading up on this as well recently as well. Just generally like the whole...
Fanking's the delightful art of...
You're not going to digress.
Anyway, so I wanted to try some different cereal. or some different breakfast.
Didn't
that
you say
wasn't
cereal's a crappy
I wanted to
breakfast?
try something different that wasn't cereal. It can be crappy on its own. Like if you're just eating cornflakes every day.
I've
I wanted to explore
redeveloped
some.
the Dick for Breakfast formula, by
Really?
the
Are
way.
you bringing some in next week?
You should see
Otherwise,
it.
I'm
It's so
unsubscribing,
good.
and so are these.
It's so good.
All right.
I might
This
even
is it.
share the recipe.
Great. Share it. Fank of the week. It's not Fank of the week. Fanking. Boom. Kick the music.
Bung, bung, bung,
Goliath
bung,
mutton
bung, bung, bung.
seals in the flavour and juices when cooking.
Excellent.
Delicious. Mutton, that's a pawn mate harness.
Poor mate harness.
That's
Where'd
good.
you buy that
Good
from,
fingering. Excellent. Mutton, this one here is a cock banger.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Is it a cocktail banger? Is that what it's supposed to
Cock
be?
banger roll. I don't know. That's
pretty key.
Well done, Martin. Martin, that's a giant knob.
Can't argue with that.
There it is.
That is giant.
I mean, you can. I've got to tell you a story. I'll tell you after. Martin, Hand Dream Super Cream.
I like that. I would
Yeah?
buy that.
I've
yeah.
never used it.
I know I'd buy it though.
Okay.
Just like it's called Super Cream.
Good, Martin. That's a cock slider.
That's good fanking
There you
technique.
go. It's very good
That's
because
very
that was
clever.
a sock slider. Now, do you need it? Actually, maybe some people.
Is that how you put socks on?
Some people may need to. It comfortably put on and take off your socks.
See, I love these things. But someone had to invent it. But I know there's a lot of rubbish. But some of them are just clever.
Maybe that was made for people who weren't fully able-bodied.
Yeah,
Like maybe there's
possibly.
some sense in that. Martin, this one here is a high-performance bush lubricant.
Be very sticky. That stuff is super sticky.
Organise milk.
What's
Well
it supposed to be? Grass milk.
Grass milk? Is that a
No.
thing? Grass-fed, no grain? I think so.
That's some solid. That should be Fank of the Week, man.
I don't know. Cock rock. There you go. Better than cock soft, I guess. I don't know. Whatever you're into. Wang.
Wang.
Wang Chardonnay. Good job. Next up, Martin.
I think that's called a hand shandy, isn't it? Oh no, that's something else. Don't worry.
Don't Google that.
Interesting muff sponge.
Muff sponge.
Very well.
I've never heard of one of them. Don't know what that is. Martin, what's this one? This is a fast-ass lubricant.
I like the use of car parts here.
Double finger, which is pretty good, and quite a colourful little blanket down there. Martin, urine monster. I thought that's notable mention. The urine monster.
And we will have looked at them so many times.
We have. What did it used to say up there?
Taurine.
Did it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Well,
the chemical in it that makes you go. Duk, 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 duk,
I don't think anyone will be able to look at this again now without thinking urine monster.
and think about mad EDM beats.
Really?
EDM, is that right? Is
Yeah.
that what you say?
Yes, that's right, Martin. That's electronic distribution marketing.
Nice. Are we near Fank of the Week yet?
Push flaps right back.
That's been in our
you go.
faces. Those things have been in our faces multiple times and never noticed
Never
once.
noticed. So there it is. Good fanking. Well done. Next up, Martin, dong tape. Now, this here, combine a little bit of that with your JDM bondage tape, you're in for a very
Can have
awkward
a-
night.
No, good. Well,
Well, whatever you're into. I haven't seen 49
Dude, I have a
Shades of
fank.
Grey. I'm not there yet.
oh,
Thank you. Fank of the week is, drum roll please, not this one, because I've got something else for you. Martin, see, this is interesting because this says anus. It says 12 suppositories. It is the suppository of knowledge. Sorry,
I can't tell if that's
a political
creative
reference.
packaging or not.
Well, I mean, it's probably called anuses or something like that. Anyway, so Fank of the week is going to me this week.
No, you can't.
Oh, I've got it on my phone. Oh, sorry, show us yours.
No, because mine's Fank of the Week.
Martin, you get second up Fank of the Week. Well, let me have
Why
this
do
one,
I get
'cause
second
I
up
got
Fank of the
busted.
Week?
I got
Oh,
busted.
okay. Do we going to hear the busted story?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you the story.
All right. My
Quick,
Fank of the
move
Week
on.
is.
Don't blow it. Sports girl beauty.
Yeah.
What is that? What am I
I
looking
think
at?
it's a muff sponge.
Oh, okay, good.
No, a muff. Sorry,
Shower sponge.
That sounded wrong. A muffy, a muffy sponge, like the one from before, like a muffy, fluffy thing. Not a sponge. Not. Stop it! I dropped my thing. So, just do your story. I don't know what happened. It's a muff sponge.
Okay. That's all
I
right.
didn't buy it.
I don't know why you're so uncomfortable
Why
about it.
why are you being uncomfortable?
Because you bought a
But
muff
you were
sponge for your
making it.
balls.
I didn't
never
buy a
said
muff
anything.
sponge. I would have bought a ball sponge.
Yeah,
I may have bought a ball sponge. No, it's a
that's
muff
fine.
sponge.
You don't have to be
You're
embarrassed.
being weird about
I
it.
bought tampons before, man.
You're being weird about the muff sponge.
Have you bought
though.
tampons before?
No.
I bought tampons and condoms in one sitting once. It's true. You were there.
I was not there.
Yes,
I do
you
not
were.
need to know that story.
That was my bush survival kit, man, that we took to Central Australia.
That's right.
You have the condoms for carrying water around and the tampons, you can pull them apart as firelighter. And don't be embarrassed, man. If you needed to clean something, that's fine. Anyway, Thank of the week. Oh, I'll tell you my story.
We digressed.
So I went to the health food shop because I was
Yes.
looking for some foods that
Some
was other
cereal-
than breakfast.
cereal's
And I
not
went
good for you,
down there
except it is.
and I walked along. Sometimes, everything in moderation. I was walking around, I had a look, and then I just saw this. I was like, that's the best Fank I've seen in a long time. I held it down there, and as I hit, the woman was like, can I help you? And I said, I'm just looking for some healthy breakfast options. And then she looked at me and looked down at what I'm about to show you, and then looked up at me, and she put it back on the shelf. And, the breakfast things are over this way. And then it went and showed me some weird smoked vegan cod, like just some weird breakfast stuff.
Smoked vegan cod, I don't think that's a thing.
Thank of the week I'm giving to myself. Drum roll, please. There it is, Martin.
Oh.
You happy with that? That's pretty good, isn't it?
You'd need a muff sponge for that.
All right, so that's Fanking. Of course, you can send us your Fanking to, just put it on the Fanking Facebook page. I'd like to acknowledge sensitively that there was a number of Fanks this week that were too rude to show.
Believe it or not, they can be too rude.
Some of them we just have to make a decision
Points
about.
for creativity, but there is a point where it's a bit too silly.
They're great for the thing.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know if we can show them here. We still see them, so put them up there. Facebook.com/Fanking Daily. That's the end of the show.
No, it's not.
That's
We
it.
got Mailbag. Kick it into Mailbag.
This week on Mailbag, you've
I
been
love
sending
Mailbag.
us some things.
I love Mailbag.
Martin, we forgot to do weird stuff on the internet. We just totally forgot.
That's all right.
Yeah, maybe we could do it as... Anyway, no, the show's gone for long enough.
It has,
Mailbag,
'cause of
P.O.
my-
Box 475, Sydney Markets, 2129. What have we got, Martin?
Because of my digressing,
I'd like to thank this person for spending $15.05 sending us
from
this item.
Sunny.
From
Sunny.
Sunny.
Probably with a sunny disposition.
He sent me the letter, mate,
Oh, the
and then
letter.
you grabbed the stuff. Or vice versa.
Oh, I saw the word custom. I saw the word
Hi,
custom.
Marty and Moog. I've made you a custom 124 scale Ford Escort.
Oh, yes.
Amazing. Painted in plum purple. I've used an RX-7 for its donor parts, which include wheels,
Oh, stop it.
JDM rear number plates,
Stop it,
small
that
rear
is
interior roll
sick.
cage, NOS bottle, side mirrors, and if you lift the hood, it's now fitted with a 13B twin turbo. Who is this
That's
legend?
ridiculous.
Turning the Escort into a JDM beast. I hope you like it. Maybe it could be an inspiration for a future Mighty Cumulus
Oh my
project.
God.
Keep up the good work.
I would
Regards, Sunny. P.S. I hope the side mirrors didn't fall off in transit as they're glued on. Are there any side mirrors still there?
They got smashed, but
They're
we'll
probably in the box,
reattach,
and we will
don't worry.
reattach them. Thank you so much for sending that in.
That is particularly
amazing.
awesome. That is particularly cool.
That's one of the coolest things we've been
I
sent.
would totally rock something like that, eh?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Oh, it's going to happen, Martin. It's going to
Rap,
happen.
rap.
RX-7s, RX3s, basically rotaries and motorbikes is what people's asking for, Martin.
Rotaries, motorbikes, Skylines, Supras.
Martin, could we, I know no one wants to see it,
No one out of the 4 people that are still watching?
a couple of these
Do you
might
know what
want
I
to
looked
see
the other day? 75,000 people had watched this show.
Have they?
I thought it was 7.
I thought it was 17.
You told me it was 7.
Well-
and it was 75,000.
I didn't know. But Martin, I would like to do something that is kind of pushing the envelope. We've been
50,000.
talking about doing...
30,000.
No, listen to this.
No, they'll
You're
drop
going to
the
like
views.
this. We do cars on the other show.
Yep.
We did a motorbike on this show.
Yeah.
Now we're going to do a motorbike on the other show.
Yeah.
Maybe another one. But I want to take it one step further. There are some motorbikes coming. I want to take it one step further.
Should you have to point that out
Yes.
while you do this?
I want to do a little dinghy, like fishing boat thing.
Oh, a boat.
Yes.
That'd be sick. Can we make it electric?
Well, it can be whatever you want. But I want that to be your project.
My project.
Not yours. I mean, we'll do it together. But, you know, I'm currently championing a bit of two-wheel action. You could champion a bit of boat action.
Imagine making one of those boats like the guys from Thailand have that have the turbo 4-cylinder motors. Probably
Would you be
illegal.
up for doing like a little boat? Doesn't even have to be fast, just a little relaxing
I can
one.
swim okay. It doesn't have to be fast.
Swim?
What have you done with... Where? Hello?
What?
It doesn't have to be fast. We should do... Let's talk about it while we do Random Eat Bag.
This week on Random Meat Bag, we explain our brains.
What our what?
We explain our brains to you. On Random Meat Bag, we expand our brains by expanding our jawlines because that is the nature of the way human beings evolved, by eating different foods and therefore expanding their brain hole
And this week-
and their pelvis and giving birth to very interesting and intelligent human beings, Homo sapiens, that have been around for a long time. What is that, mate?
This is from Israel.
Israeli
You
chocolate.
open it, I'll explain what it is.
Okay, thank you.
It's from Israel. Israeli chocolate. It contains sugar, milk, all the usual stuff that's in whatever.
It's got walnuts. Oh no, it may have a walnut in it.
You've never tried a chocolate bar like this before.
That's true.
Unless you
Some
were
from
with us the
Australia.
last time we went to Israel.
All right.
What?
Okay. Thank you everybody for watching the
It's
show.
high quality milk chocolate that's been produced by Strauss for decades.
We will be back at you on the main channel in a couple of days.
Apparently this is incredibly popular in Israel.
Right now we are overseas at the time that you're watching this. We are in Europe. But, oh, it's crunchy. It's crunchy chocolate. That's interesting.
No, it's chocolate with it's popping chocolate.
Oh, you know what's interesting about that? In Australia,
That's weird.
if you had popping candy chocolate,
We do have it. They
in
have
Australia,
little explosions on there.
if you had popping candy chocolate,
We do have it.
in Australia, if you had popping candy
If
chocolate,
we had it, but we do have it. So it's not if, we have it. In Australia, we have popping candy chocolate.
in Australia, if you had popping candy chocolate, the company that designed this would make sure there was popping shit all over it. Whereas this here just looks like chocolate that's having a little pss, pss there and there. They would feature the popping way more than the chocolate. Do you agree?
This is quite romantic with the cow under the fireworks.
Thank you very
There's
much
a
for
cow-
watching the show.
There's a cow
We'll be
under
back
the
at you next week.
The cow's
Only
watching
one.
the fireworks.
Martin.
He's going, oh, the fireworks are lovely. Please milk me and turn me into chocolate so some two dickheads off the internet can eat it on the other side of the world and talk about me.
That is the word of the week. Everything he just said. Please milk me and everything else. Check it. That's the word of the week.
From where I
we'll
said,
see you
"Please
in the
milk
comments. And thank you very much for watching. That is the Unicorn Circuit. Farewell, goodbye, and see you soon.